Yo, it's Poetic Style, the voice of the struggle. You tuning in to Flo On the Go. Let's get it.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Flo On the Go. And I'm here with Poetic Style, the man who has all the answers and was reading between every woman's mind. How are you?
I'm alive, I'm blessed.
Awesome. Tell the world who you are. I know I gave you a good introduction.
Poetic Style, author slash poet slash writer. That's pretty much it right now.
Nice. So, what made you start poetry?
I like the idea of playing with words and evoking like emotions. I listen to a lot of R&B. I think that also kind of, you ever listen to that song that just puts you like, so it's like, I grew up listening to a lot of R&B. I love R&B, so I always kind of wanted to do something that involved words and emotions.
Okay. So, were you that kid like back in elementary school writing poems to?
Nah, I never really wrote poems like that growing up. I didn't really write poems. I just argued a lot. I like debating. I like things that involve words. So I didn't really write poems until I started writing poems, really.
Wow.
I don't have that story of, I dreamt about this my whole life type of situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's respect that. So, what was like your favorite subject in school?
English.
Okay. So that makes a little bit of sense right there. Okay. So you like Shakespeare and stuff?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Who are one of your favorite authors?
This is gonna be weird, right? I don't read a lot.
Okay.
I don't read a lot. Like, people would think because you're an author, you must, you read, you like books. I don't really read a lot. And I like writing, but I don't necessarily like reading other people's work. Because for one, it's very easy to be influenced subconsciously by somebody else's work. So that's my excuse. Really, I just don't like reading.
Okay. Respect that. I'm trying to learn how to like reading. I'm still struggling on that. So your book, before your book even started, I was actually following you before that.
Yeah.
And true story, I was going through like a breakup-ish, not really, but in that weird gray area.
Yeah.
And I came across your page, and literally the words you were saying were literally going through my head. Right. How are you able to really just pull up and be like, she said, and it's literally exactly what someone would feel like. For example, being a woman who loved so hard eventually turned her into a woman afraid to love at all.
Here's the thing. So I feel like the beauty of it, why everyone feels like I'm talking specifically for them, is because we've all experienced these feelings before at some point in time. Some people just pretend that they haven't, and some people embrace those feelings, particularly men. We pretend like we don't feel because society tells us that we're supposed to suppress our emotions, and it's the opposite for women, I guess. But everyone's been through these things. It's just about finding the words to explain what you're feeling. I guess that's where I come in.
So how, as a man, how do you, because women like to always say, a man don't know how I feel.
I mean, listen, men feel. We have emotions. Like, every now and then I go through my comments and I see a couple of dudes in there like, I want to repost this, but it says she said, but I feel like, men, so we feel. We feel a lot of things that y'all feel too. Y'all might feel it more openly or quicker than we do, but we, everyone has feelings.
Right.
I think it was just easier to connect with women and make women my target audience because they embrace those feelings as opposed to men who have been trained to act like they don't feel a thing.
So you saying that these same feelings we both share, can you say that what you're writing, have you experienced?
Yeah, a lot. Some of the stuff that I'm writing I've experienced. I wouldn't say all of it. I feel like when you've been, doing something for so long, it becomes like a thing of its own. Like you learn to just put yourself in that space and come up with these emotions, whether you felt them or not. And I think that's just what it is. It's become like a second language, speaking for a woman or speaking from a woman's perspective. It's just become like learning Spanish or something like that for me.
Right. So what made you want to write a book?
To be honest, I didn't want to write a book. like when my first book happened, I didn't go into it like I'm trying to write a book, I'm writing a book. I was just, I was using Instagram and social media to just put a lot of work out there. I was just trying to connect with people. It wasn't like I was writing a book. And I was just writing every day because I was just trying to connect. And by the time I looked up, I just had so much material. So I was like, what would be genius? Just put this into a book. And the crazy thing about it, I had enough material for like 2 books when I put my first book out. So my second book was just a question of me putting, some stuff together, adding to it, adding more of my ideas. But yeah, I just had so much material. I didn't go into it trying to write a book. It just kind of happened like that.
Wow. So talk about using social media as your platform to now elevate a whole entire business that you're now making money from.
Social media is a gift, man. People be like, it's just Instagram, but it's not just Instagram. We really have like the whole world in our hands, depending on how you use it. But yeah, I just, I started out with doing open mics. I was doing a lot of open mics before I took to Instagram. And what happened was I felt like my fan base wasn't growing. Like I wanted more people to hear me. And what's bigger than the internet? You know what I mean? Like the internet is like the biggest thing in the world. Like you can reach anybody on the internet. So initially, I was actually not even trying to write poems. I was working on a visual for like this poem that I did. It was like a 6-minute poem that I had done, and I was working on a visual for it. And something really messed up happened. The guy who shot it was taking like mad long to give me my video back. Like I still didn't get it back to this day. But it turned out to be a blessing because I was waiting for him for like 3 weeks, like beating down his phone, like, yo, can I get my stuff? Like, what's going on? And he was just giving me the runaround. So I was like, man, I gotta stay proactive because, the minute you're not doing anything, attention shifts to the next person, especially in this microwave generation where, everyone wants the next thing so fast. So I was just trying to be proactive, and I was like, hey, y'all, this is back when I had probably like 900 followers. I was like, hey, y'all, I wrote a poem. They want to hear it? They were like, yeah, sure, post it. And I posted it, and it got crazy feedback. And and after that, I guess I never looked back.
So when was that first post?
I want to say like 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's about 2014.
For 4 years.
Yeah, it's been 4 years.
Wow. So what lessons have you learned from the beginning? And I know you never really went into it thinking it could blow up into something that it is now, but if you were to look back at yourself then, what would you have done differently?
Nothing. That almost sounds like the cliche answer or the politically correct answer, and I hate to be politically correct. But I can't think of anything I would have done differently. I think that things have just been happening. It feels like the way they were supposed to happen. I haven't had nothing has happened that I couldn't recover from. Nothing ever really happened that I needed to recover from. I think I'm a very calculated person, so I don't make too many mistakes, or too many grand mistakes. I might make some little things here and there. So nothing comes to mind. I don't think there's anything that I would necessarily change.
Nice. So what's next? I know there's more. You just dropped your second book.
Yeah. Actually, I got a third book coming. So you just got the first scoop on that. Third book is coming later this year. I actually just started the process. I'm working on a podcast / vlog, trying to really get my YouTube channel going. What else? Writing music. One of my goals is to write a song that ends up on the top 100 charts.
Nice.
So let's see if that happens in 2018.
Okay. So you're not musically inclined, but you are, or are you?
I mean, everyone's a singer and a rapper in the shower. I mean, I've recorded a couple songs though, but I'm more so like the goal is to be a writer more than it is to be the artist for me.
Okay, so you are this public figure in society, and people look up to you. Do you feel like you have an obligation to live your life a certain kind of way on and off social media?
Yeah, it's heavy. It happens by default, especially when you write about what I write about. every woman I run into expects me to be perfect, right? Like, oh my goodness, she must be the perfect boyfriend or the perfect guy.
Because you have all the answers.
Yeah, right. But I mean, we're all flawed. Like, you know, I never want people like to think I'm perfect, because then I'm gonna let you down every time. Like, nobody's perfect. And I think the things that people read, they're just emotions. Like, I'm just telling stories. I mean, I have a lot of that. I have a lot of answers. But then again, we all do, right? We just kind of need somebody to give us that reassurance or say that thing that we kind of already knew. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't really see myself as being different from the next person, and that might be me selling myself short. But I'm just somebody who's great at telling what you feel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So do you receive a lot of flack from like men?
I used to, and maybe like back, it was more visible to me back when I first caught, like, you know, a wave, I guess. I don't know if it stopped or if I'm just, if it's just too much other stuff going on for me to even see it. Like, it doesn't get to me anymore. Like, when I say get to me, like, I don't even see it anymore. And I don't know if it's because it stopped or I've just got bigger than it. So I don't know, but I used to get a lot of that. Like, there was a time, I remember this one particular instance. I got a call from one of my homeboys who was like, man, they going in on you on Twitter. And I looked on Twitter and it was like literally like a bunch of people from Baltimore, and they were just like going in like, man, F Poetic, man, why he giving these women all these, you know, like secrets and whatever, blah. Like, it was just a whole bunch of hate. And so funny thing about that is, right, like, so the people that you know, personally, that you expect to be the ones to like say something, were the most quiet in that time. And the people that I probably just see in passing were the people like really like sticking up for me, like, yo, like, you know what I mean? And it was just funny, like, I sat back and observed it, and then the next day I had to talk with one of my homeboys, and he was like, yo, why you ain't say nothing back? Like, why you know? And I was like, listen, man, it's Twitter. I can't argue with 600 people. You know what I mean? Yeah. But, and that's what I told him, and I remember, and it's so funny. I said, a couple years from now, we'll revisit this conversation, and we'll see where I am versus where they are. And look at me now.
That's crazy. So pretty much the people who were the closest to you. So it's so interesting you said that, because I was going to ask you, how hard is it keeping a good and tight circle around you through everything, you know, going on?
Yeah. It's hard. People always say, like, when you get to a certain point in life, you start feeling yourself too much, like you change. You know, everyone's heard this, like, you've changed. And I don't think it's so much that people change, and I'm speaking firsthand because I've experienced this. I feel like the people around you start to treat you a little different because they expect you to act a certain way. Like, oh, you got 100,000 followers, you Hollywood now. And I'm like, I still come and hang with y'all. Like, I'm the same person. Like, that's just, you know, that's just the number of people watching my work. I'm still the same person. But what happens, they start to, when they call you Hollywood so many times and start to treat you a certain way, it almost like they make you that person in their eyes. You know what I mean? Right. So I mean, but you know, for the most part, I'm still running with the same people. Nothing has really changed. I just you know, nothing's changed. I mean, I move a little bit different, but I'm not the guy who's beefing with anyone. I don't have to look over my shoulders, nothing like that. So yeah.
Nice. What are some of your biggest accomplishments that you have gained?
Funny you asked me that, right? So I was at this open mic maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and this girl recognized me. It was actually an open mic one of my friends threw, and so this girl recognized me. She came up to me. She was like, "Are you Poetic Style?" And I was like, "Yes." And so when I said that, she was taken back, and she started trying to tell me like her story, and I could see and hear her fighting back the tears, right? And then maybe like 15 seconds into her talking, like the tears won, you know what I mean? And so like it hit me. It was like those are my biggest accomplishments. The people that I touch like that. You know what I mean? And it was just it's not the Instagram gratification. It's not the book selling out. It's not any of that. It really was like, it was the most humbling moment and like of my life, pretty much. Yeah, I think that pretty much takes the cake, because it was so genuine. Like, you know what I mean? She was like really trying to fight back the tears, and she lost. And I was like, wow, like that's everything. Like this takes the cake.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
That was, you know, I'm everyone knows I'm a little emotional, so that got me a little bit.
Nah, listen, I was about to join her in tears.
No,
like
seriously.
It was surreal.
That's when you know, like, you're really walking in your purpose and doing exactly what you're supposed to do. If you're affecting and touching lives like that, oh yeah, that's it. I mean, perfect.
Yeah.
So tell everyone how they can find you and follow you, for those who don't already know.
Well, you follow me on Instagram, Poetic_Style. I have a Twitter as well, but I'm barely on it. Instagram is your best bet. That's pretty much it.
Okay, and two last questions I always ask. One is, if there was a young poet listening to your voice right now, male or female, what would you tell them?
Tune everyone else out and just write what you feel, because 9 times out of 10 somebody else really can relate to what you've been through or what you're going through. So just write what you feel, put it out there, and let people criticize it or gravitate towards it. I think that's people's biggest fear. Like, they're afraid to put their, I'm glad you asked that. So I get DMs all the time, and people will be like, I want you to read my poem, tell me if I'm good enough. I'm like, I can't tell you if you're good enough. Like, who am I to tell you if you're good enough? Nobody told me if I was good enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the craziest thing that you can ask me, is to tell you if you're good enough. That doesn't make any sense. Like, if you think you're good enough, you're good enough. The only difference between me and you is more people know me than know you. Like, your work could be better than mine. You know what I mean? You just could be undiscovered. Maybe people just don't know who you are yet. So I can't tell you if you're good enough. It's not my place. You just got to put it out and let people and share it with the world, pretty much.
That's crazy you just said that, because I literally just said that earlier today to someone. Like, you can't wait for anyone to tell you you're an expert. If you do it enough times and you feel like you're good enough, then you are an expert. You tell yourself that and you claim it.
Absolutely.
And everyone else will respect it. So thank you for saying that. Last question is, what is your why?
My why?
Yes, that keeps you going, keeps you get writer's block.
Listen, this is my why. I'm not even going to lie to you. Every time I'm about to quit, I hear this Kanye West line in my head, and it'd be like, don't leave when you hot. That's how May screwed up. Kanye said that in one of his songs, and literally every time I wake up, like, I don't feel like doing this, I hear Kanye in the back of my, don't leave when you hot. That's how May screwed up, because it's a lot harder to get it back than it is to sustain it.
Facts,
so,
yes.
That's it. That's my why.
Dope. Thank you so much. That's dope. Great interview.
I appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. Until next time.
Peace.